I watched a video this week and it made me realize how toxic chasing the glow up really is. So I watched this video by Olivia D'Andrea, and you might have seen it pop up on your YouTube feed as well. It has been blowing up. It was about the toxic culture of chasing something outside of yourself, an image of this ideal, perfect life and this glow up version of you, and how that can lead to your own destruction, even if your intentions seem to be good. And the reason for that is because there is a lot of standards that we see in the media, on social media, in other people's lives that we will begin to associate as the ideal. And most of the time, that image is not actually in alignment to what is most ideal for us. And why I'm recording this video is because I also fell into that trap. I used to think that self-care was something to do, and the truth is, my actual belief is that self-care is something to be. It is an identity, it is a state, it is a way of life. But how do you get there? In this video, I'm going to share with you my experiences of how I actually undid my own glow up process without realizing it, because I was so busy chasing a version of myself that I believed was all the way out there, rather than recognizing who I was on the inside and actually working towards unearthing that version of me. I'm also going to share what we can do to practice actual self-love in our day-to-day lives, and it has nothing to do with what we do on the outside. And lastly, I'm going to share what gets in the way as well of us actually being able to practice genuine and true self-love, and just some tips that I have.
Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Nicole, a life and business coach for high-functioning women. I'm a self-proclaimed foodie, content creator, educator, and your new abundance bestie. In my world, we talk about all things to do with elevating your life. I post weekly videos helping the everyday woman embody her highest self, create inner wealth, master her mindset, unlock her femininity, and be an absolute boss in life. I create resources, trainings, and host experiences online and in person in order to help you reconnect to your true self. Not the one you think you need to be, but the you that you were born to be. So you can reclaim your power and amplify your voice to lead, love, and create as a woman. If you like my vibe and you want a little bit more abundance in your life, hit subscribe to be notified whenever I drop a new episode. And be sure to check out the free resources in the description below.
But firstly, I want to reiterate what I said earlier. Your highest self will never be an image outside of you. The highest version of you is within you. You do not need inspiration. You do not need to scroll on TikTok or see what everybody else is doing or do things the way that other people have done it in order to unlock and activate that version of you. In fact, when people share with you their tips, including me, these are just my own insights based on my own journey. But how you are going to unlock your highest, most authentic and aligned self is not going to come from taking my advice and following the things that I do in my life, because that's my journey. That's my discovery process of who I am. And the illusion that we all have that literally has us in a chokehold, especially because of social media, is that we think that the glow up or the best version of ourselves is out there. So we think we have to go on this massive pilgrimage and journey of doing all these things and checking all these boxes and having a certain routine in order to access that version of ourselves. The truth is, it's not out there. The journey is not outward, it's inward. And it's not until we realize that we will finally be able to get off this checklist hamster wheel of trying to do self-care, that we realize self-care is actually about being a person who cares for herself. We got it backward. In a world that says that if you want to change a result, you want to do a certain thing, you need to meet certain criterias, the truth about unlocking your authentic, highest, most aligned self and experiencing genuine peace, joy, and love in your life is that you don't actually need to do anything. You just need to learn to be more. You need to allow yourself to be. Because what doing suggests is that we have to earn a certain result, we have to achieve and accumulate and prove that we are worthy to have our place in the world. But what being suggests is accepting all that we are as we are and letting ourselves just show up in the imperfection, in the mess, and in the midst of figuring it out. And letting that be absolutely whole, enough, and worthy of all the love, peace, and joy. But the problem is we weren't wired to think that way. We weren't wired to accept who we are as we are. We were told that there was always a problem that needed to be fixed, that there is something wrong. If we don't have the life we want, then we need to do something to achieve it. But what if achieving the things that we want, the experiences, the emotions, the enoughness that we've been seeking this whole time was just about relaxing into our being and learning to accept better, to judge less, to think less, and to just feel more? Because isn't that what it means to be a human? To really, truly be authentically true and to experience the fullness of life? And isn't that what we are here to do on this earth? We're not here to just achieve and chase and pursue all these things outside of ourselves. What a miserable life if that's all we're here to do. We're here to have the human experience. We're here to have the ebbs and flows, to experience the pain and the joys, and to have this full experience in full surrender. And when we are in this kind of chasing energy of, I want it so bad, I want to be my glow up best self so bad, what we're telling everybody and ourselves is that we are not really deserving of it. When you want something, you don't believe you have it. Wanting indicates that it is far from you. The more you seek something, the further it is from you. But if you just accept that you are worthy, you don't need to want a certain body, you don't need to want to look a certain way, you don't need to want anything outside of you, because you already are enough, you already have enough. Sure, you can work towards certain goals, but don't work at it from a place of scarcity. Don't work at it from a place of, I am not enough and I'm not happy and I'm trying to escape this reality that I'm in right now. Work towards it from love. Work towards it from acceptance of who you are right now and believing and loving all that is right now. Because when you work towards what it is that you desire to create in your life from that place, that is a more powerful place. That's simply because the one thing that actually allows for expansion and true authentic power is love, unconditional love. And that means fully loving, accepting, not judging, not resisting all that is. So even if you're jobless, even if you don't know what the heck you're doing with your life right now or your business, it doesn't matter. Even if you've lost everything that you used to take pride in, even if you are single, even if you are not the ideal way you want, loving all that is, accepting all that is, that's what's going to free you from the restriction of feeling like you are stuck. And for most of you who are on this chase of your glow up, your best self, your highest self, you just want to catch yourself. If the place you are operating from is you're trying to escape and you don't actually love who you are. See, what I've learned is that in something like a fitness journey, you can be operating on an energy that is punishment. Like your underlying reason for working on your body and eating clean and tracking your macros, getting your 10K steps a day, doing your runs, doing all these things that on the outside are self-care, you can be operating on an energy or an intention of punishment. Like, I don't like my body. I've been doing the wrong things, so now I gotta punish myself. And so the act of going to the gym, the act of having clean food and tracking and doing your 10K steps, these acts are completely neutral. They're not good or bad. When intended from a place of, I am actually doing this to punish myself because I don't believe I'm worthy unless I have that body, unless I have that weight, unless I'm getting 10K steps, that is going to create a very different relationship with yourself. And it's going to signal that you are still further away from your goal. So unconsciously, you're still going to be triggering parts of yourself that are literally going to self-sabotage your results. You're going to find that you're going to push and do all these things to try to improve yourself, and yet you still feel crap. You still feel like it's not enough. And you know that you're doing it from this state when at the end of the day, you still feel like you are not measuring up, like you are still so far. But the difference is when you shift those very same actions with a different intention of, I'm doing this because I love and accept myself. My body may not be how I want it to be or where I thought it would be, but that is not a problem. This is life. This is my body. This is what I'm working with. And because I love it, because I want the best for it, I'm going to nourish it. I'm going to give it good rest. I'm going to go on a walk if I feel like going on a walk because my body feels stiff. When you take the time to actually slow down, live with intention, and be mindful, what happens is you stop judging, you stop limiting yourself, and you stop punishing yourself for not being worthy. This is all that it is. We are chasing a sense of glowing up and being the best version of ourselves sometimes from a place of we are not worthy. And maybe if I reach that goal, that certain image, or if my life looks that way and I have these routines, then I will be worthy of feeling good. Then I will be worthy of accepting myself. Then I will be worthy of the love of other people. Can you see how twisted that is and how much of an endless hamster wheel that is? Like, it literally is a painful existence when everything you do is based on achieving certain metrics. That is what we call the opposite of unconditional love. It's conditional. You have to follow these conditions in order to receive and be worthy of love. So that is my invitation for you today as you watch this video. I know for me, I fell into this trap through the journey of building a business and also showing up on social media. These are the two areas that in the last 4 years of operating my coaching business and being an entrepreneur and a content creator, that I have found myself compromising my true essence and swapping unconditional love with judgment and conditions and expectations. And so many of us are doing this in so many ways, but I know for me, it showed up in this way where I was constantly looking for what trends were showing up on TikTok and trying to just replicate it. I was using other people as an inspiration, other people whose content was doing well or who were showing up the way I wanted to show up, and literally regurgitating their identity in the world. And I was so frustrated that I wasn't making an impact. I was frustrated that people weren't interested. I wasn't visible. Nobody was paying attention, and I was just chucking a fit all the time. And the worst part was I was villainizing myself. I was like, there is something wrong with you. You are not creative enough. You're not doing enough. And my solution was, again, to do more, to get on that checklist hamster wheel and to do more. And I never really stopped to think about the fact that the key is not unlocking the viral strategy or being like a certain creator and doing things the way they were. No, the key was within me. The key was me stepping into my authentic power. And the only way I could unlock that key was by unconditionally loving all that I am and all that I show up as I am. I used to try to make my backgrounds look nice and do my hair and whatever. And I would filter myself. I would write these long scripts that were so inauthentic to me. I literally just like to talk and riff and be who I am, but I was too afraid. I didn't think that was enough. And so I censored all of that. And it makes me so emotional. It's like I always knew that that part of me was going to be seen one day, but I felt like I was trapped in a glass box and I was just banging and trying to get out. But the personality, the conditioned me, the me that was too afraid to truly be seen, kept silencing her. And it was because I couldn't let myself love all parts of myself enough, so I had to hide that away. And when we don't love all parts of ourselves as we are, then we censor ourselves. We don't let ourselves show up exactly how we are, exactly how we would say it, dress how the heck we dress, show people our messy ass room, and be like, this is all of me, take it or leave it. We can't. And you think about the people who've made it in the world, the people who are truly influential and are change makers and impactful, they're doing it in their own way. They're not trying to squeeze themselves into a box to fit into everybody else's standards. They literally are influential because they are all of who they are. And they're like, this is me, world. Accept it or leave it. And that is when I started to shift things in my life and in my business. Right now, if you've been following my journey, I'm still figuring out what the heck I'm meant to do. I quit my business of 4 years. It was doing well and my life looked like it was on the top of the mountain, but inside I was not being my authentic self. I was not leading or building whatever I was building and creating whatever I was creating from my authenticity. And then you know what? Once I cut those strings and I deactivated my Instagram, I literally just went, you know what? If I'm gonna use social media, I'm just gonna be me. I'm not gonna try to put any conditions on what I need to create. I'm not gonna try to monetize something that's not ready to be monetized yet just to make a bag. I'm gonna take care of that somewhere else. I'll go get a job. I don't care. But what I need right now is to learn to love myself in the quietness of my own heart, in the privacy of my own time and space, and then let that expand so much that I want to share that love with people and be exactly who I am to you guys. And that's all I'm doing. And you know what? People started listening. People started paying attention. People started seeing me for me. And why? Because I started showing them me as me. And so we wonder, why can't I make a difference? Why can't I make an impact? Why is nobody listening? Why is nobody buying my product? Well, it's because you're trying to mold yourself into this tiny little box and you're chasing this checklist of glowing up and trying to be your best self, but you're doing it from a place of not loving. Okay? So what do we need to do? What do we need to release, first of all? And then how do we be a person who is truly just a person who cares and loves for herself? Because that's what self-care is. Well, firstly, what gets in the way? Here's what I wrote. 5 things. 1, judgment. Judgment gets in the way because we have a standard of what we think is right based on what somebody else said versus just learning to accept whatever is, however way we're showing up. So for me, judging myself for not exercising when I didn't feel like it, judging myself for not filming the video or for messing up, whatever judgments you hold, that takes a lot of energy. And you don't need to be wasting that energy. That's optional. Because you've been in the habitual pattern of constantly judging, and of course, that energy is going to be spent regardless because you're on autopilot. So you got to catch yourself when you are judging over and over and over again and just sucking the life and energy out of yourself. Secondly, thinking you're too cringe. Thinking that who you are as you are is not enough and you're too cringe and nobody will really get it and then you'll just look like a clown. That's a thought that every single authentic person has had before, and that is normal, that is okay, but it is not true. It might feel cringe in your body, but is it actually cringe? 9 times out of 10, and in fact 10 times out of 10, it's going to resonate with someone. And someone might have an opinion, but that's okay too, because you're not here for the people who don't agree, you're here for the people who resonate. And there will always be someone who resonates because we are all human. We all have the same set of emotions and feelings and fears. Third thing, talking yourself down when you have ideas that are too out of the box or you can't find anyone else who's done it before. The fact that it is on your heart means that it is for you. Nobody else understands it yet because the vision was given to you. It is your job to believe in it. It is your job to show up for it. And it's okay that it's not yet out there in the world because that's why it's trying to be birthed through you. Period. Fourth, comparing your life. It wasn't until I got off social media for a hot minute that I realized, damn, I spent a lot of energy judging and comparing myself to other people's lives. Like, I don't even intend to. But because social media hands their life and their accomplishments and their highlight reel to me on a silver platter every single morning, of course I'm consuming it. Of course I'm judging myself on the basis of it. Even if I work on my mindset, the fact that I am seeing that stimulus is giving me an opportunity to compare where I am to where they are. And the moment I cut that off, you guys, I got an IV injection of energy back. And I didn't even know it was missing this whole time. That's why I can show up like this. So just catch yourself when you need to detox from consuming other people's lives. Because what I realized was, I didn't ask to be informed about your life. I literally went on an unfollowing spree when I got back on social media because I was like, unless we go and catch up, unless you care enough to check in on me and we do a phone call or we go for coffee, I don't need to know about your life. I really don't. I really don't. And that might sound selfish, but the truth is my mind can only hold so much. This body, this energy is a temple, and I'm not here to try and consume it all only to be drained by it. I need to protect my energy to create and do the things that light me up and contribute to the world in the way that I am meant to. The fifth thing is over planning. Like, although this is a very familiar process to me to over plan and sit there and try to like do everything to get ahead, that planning and overthinking is very like old me. And we're talking self-care here, and pursuing the highest version of ourselves, then I got to look at the standard that the inner self sets. And my inner self actually hates that I do that. If I'm really honest, I hate that I have to get stuck in my head and I have to do a whole ass spreadsheet before I take an action. I hate it, yet I do it. And just because I'm used to doing it doesn't mean I need to keep doing it again. Okay, so the 3 things that I'm gonna leave with you to actually be a person who cares for herself, which is truly the definition of self-care. The 3 things I'm gonna give you, and this is just on what I'm currently learning. There's so much, and if you are interested in just daily tips and all the things, you can come join my community. I'll link it below. It's called I Am Her Collective. You can also check out my TikTok where I just like dump all of this kind of stuff all day, every day, and be part of that too. But the 3 things that I'm working through right now is 1, learning to listen to my body. I have been in the mode of just feminine energy all day. So I have not been grinding in the gym like I normally would. I have not been tracking. I literally don't even wear my Apple Watch anymore. Look, the tan is gone. And that's simply because I'm understanding that taking care of my health is not about hitting metrics. It's not about doing things a certain person's way. It's about listening to the intuitive impulses. If my body is craving a certain thing, I will give it to it. But I will also be mindful of excess. I will catch myself when it is becoming an emotional act of eating rather than a nourishing act, which is what eating is here to do. So listening to my body in those ways, not forcing the 10K steps, but going on a walk when I feel like it, enjoying the walk, and not necessarily looking at how many steps I've done. Those are the kind of ways that are allowing me to care for myself and really be mindful and intentional. Secondly, it's releasing the standard that I think I need to keep. Releasing this standard of I should be here by now, or I'm 27, or I had a business of 4 years and now what? All these standards and stories are just projections of my mind. They're harmless, and tying myself to them unconsciously and emotionally is really just a drainage of energy. And like I said, preserving that creative energy that wants to come through, that's what's going to matter most, especially if you're like me in this kind of similar season of transition in whatever area of your life. Preserving that creative energy is going to help you so much, because from that creativity, from that full cup is actually how you're going to find the path to the next thing and the next thing. You're not here to just continue to repeat the same thing over and over again. You're here to be a creator. Your essence is to create, especially as a woman. So learn what it means to protect that and learn what drains it and release the standards you think you have to meet. And so the final thing, which trails perfectly, is stop trying to function the same way every single day. You are rhythmical, you are cyclical. Things ebb and flow, and it's not about trying to be a robot and just being this like A to B, A to B, A to B every single day. Like, especially as a woman, because we have hormonal cycles, we are deeply affected by the moon, the month, like the time of the month, sorry. These things affect us. And so what I've learned is that even just like trying to build a business from this place of trying to maintain and match the man is so difficult. And that's exactly why I teach what I teach in flow-based business and why I coach women specifically, because we are out here with so many masculine models for business and growth, but not enough women have been given the opportunity and the platform to influence and to lead from a feminine way. And as we know, this world is both masculine and feminine in energetic dynamics. So if we are constantly just trying to do things in a masculine energetic way, then we're gonna burn out. But it's about balance. It's about leading from the feminine and the masculine. It's about learning to validate our emotions as well as our actions. There's so much I got to share about this. I do have other videos on my channel, and I will also link them to the description if you guys want to watch that, because I highly recommend you learn about what it means to be a soft boss, masculine, feminine energy dynamics, because that's going to open up a whole lot of freedom for you. But to me, the lesson in this is stop trying to function the same every day. Work rhythmically, find your rhythm, find your flow within yourself, and just release the standard of everybody else outside of you and what they say is the right way to glow up and be your best self or most successful self. So that is all, my loves. I want to thank you for firstly showing up for yourself, for watching this video all the way through, because you needed this and this video found you and you gave this to yourself. You attracted this into your world because you needed it. So receive it. And I want to thank you for giving me the privilege to speak into your life and to share my journey with you as well. Again, catch me on TikTok, come join my community in WhatsApp, and let's chat again next time. Bye.
If you want to take your abundance to another level, I want to help you. I'm a life and business coach for women who want to step into their next level by activating wealth from the inside out. To help you take your first step to unlocking true abundance and your aligned potential, I'm giving you free resources, workshops, and masterclasses that you can access on demand right now. Check out www.nicoleconcepcion.co/free-resources to get your hands on it. For more videos like this, check out the other playlists and series I have on this channel, and don't forget to hit subscribe to be notified whenever I drop a new video. And if you're more of the podcast type, check out Freedom in Flow, where I dive even deeper into the concepts that will help you create less hustle and more flow, abundance, and alignment in your life and business. Now, if you're a reader, you'll want to subscribe to my email list for unfiltered, honest, and most importantly, applicable life upgrades. Now, don't be a stranger. Connect with me on Instagram and TikTok and send me a message. I love getting to know you and your story. It's why I do this. Okay, my lovely, that's all for now. I'll see you soon. Signing off, Nicole.